Tonight, it's Madden NFL football. It's Thursday Night Football on EA Sports.
EA Sports coverage of the National Football League is on the air. Tonight, we're on to Week 2 in the NFL season as we've got a good one here between the Miami Dolphins and the New England Patriots. And we will not get a run back here to start. It's a touchback, and it will come out to the 25. So now here come the Patriots to take over on offense. And they'll be led out by the man running the show, Charles, their quarterback.
And he certainly had his share of struggles in the opener, threw a couple of ill-timed interceptions in the game. So that was something that was harped upon all week in practice. Because if he's going to help this team be a winning one, he can't give the football away like he did last week.
And from the 25, they work this to the 29, a gain of 4.
That's a nice job there defensively, being able to diagnose that little touch pass. They saw it coming, converged on him before he could get much out of it.
2nd and 6, just inside the 30. And he's going to be met at the line of scrimmage and taken down. No gain on the play there, so they're left with a 3rd down and 6. This defense for the Dolphins, terrific last week in the season opening victory.
And I think our statistician, we ended up having to bring the blue tent and put it around him for a while because he was developing a hand injury from having to write down all the turnovers this team.
And he's going to have to eat this one as down he goes. And the defense coming through on 3rd down, a loss of 7 to bring up 4th.
There's a lot of discussion in the offseason about him having a big year and getting to the quarterback. They held him without a sack in week 1, but how about here? Finally gets his first one of the season.
In the offseason, said he changed his diet, leaner, feels so good this year. Excited to see what type of a season he can have. The Patriots send out their punter. He'll kick it away after a 3-and-out on the opening drive of the game. Only 2 punts for him last week in the loss as he gets this one away. Taking it about the 36. Nearly a huge return, as it is still a very good one. 24 yards. And this offense, they're going to have excellent field position. They take over with a 1st and 10 on the short side of the field. So here are the Dolphins now with excellent field position to start things out. And a look here at their go-to guy under center.
And he said he was feeling good in the lead up to the season, and he proved it in a big way in week 1. With 4 touchdown passes. Had the offense moving at peak efficiency right at the start of the year. Awfully impressive.
Now Richardson throwing on 1st down. It's brought in by Harris. And he's going to get this down near the 30-yard line. Charles, Thursday night game, I think a lot of teams probably say shrink the playbook somewhat. Is that correct?
I think you're right about that because you just don't have the amount of time that you have in a normal week to put in a full playbook. So as you said, you shrink the playbook, pick out the plays that work best for you. And you know what else you're looking for?
What's that?
Who are the freshest guys coming off of the last game to play on a Thursday night? Guys have a little extra pep in their step. You go to them early and often. That was an interesting look there because as soon as he got outside the pocket, I thought he was going to take off and run for yardage. But what often happens now with these quarterbacks who can move, defenses want to try and keep bodies in front of them. And I think that discouraged him from taking off and made him try a pass downfield that fell incomplete.
And they'll work it inside the 15-yard line before it's all said and done.
Absolutely love the run right there. This guy's known for his quickness, but also for his speed. And he's able to get to the 2nd level almost before you blink if you give him any type of blocking. Always talk about slot receivers, and they're usually known as quicker than fast. In this case, we've got a guy who's quick and fast, and he used it to great advantage.
From the 13 now, they work on 1st and 10. And he will take it in for a Dolphins touchdown. A great play there. his 4th touchdown on the year. And the Dolphins are going to take a first-quarter lead. Extra point right down the middle, and that makes the score 7-0. Just a 4-play drive that time, and it's capped off by a 13-yard touchdown run. Set now to kick this one away, and off it goes. And this will be a touchback, so they'll bring it out to the 25. So back onto the field come the Pats for their second drive. Losers in the season opener on Sunday. They get that quick turnaround 96 hours later. Here we go. They're back at it. And I've got to think, especially early in the year, that's a good thing for these guys, is it not?
It absolutely is, and we've seen it many times demonstrated over the years. Teams have a rough opening game, have to play the Thursday game. That quick turnaround allows them to go ahead and throw the other game out, focus on the new one, and typically they play much better in game 2, so I would agree with you totally on that.
These are his numbers from last week's contest. 7 catches, 84 yards.
Better tighten up the coverage if you expect to slow this guy down, because if he gets going, he'll eat you up.
So from the 36 now, 1st and 10. Back to throw. Webster, nowhere to go here. He lost the football. Points 1, 2, and 3 in their defensive game plan was to get to the quarterback and knock the ball free. They did it there. Luckily, offense hangs on to it.
Yeah, that's got to serve as a wake-up call, though, because they can't afford to let the ball go over to the defense and miss opportunities. And I'm not saying it happened here, but you know what a good rule of thumb is when a play like that occurs? You know who usually recovers it? The guy who missed his block and let his quarterback get hit.
And able to break one tackle, but then quickly brought down, but a nice little gain.
When you run a screen pass really well, you gotta like the look of it because so many parts come together to make it work well. The offensive linemen, where they're faking people out, the back slipping out there, catching the football, then all of them going together as one unit downfield. A really nice pickup.
Losing 2 yards that time, and now it's 4th down.
When a draw works, it can be a thing of beauty, but when it doesn't, oh, it can be ugly. And in this case, loss of yardage ugly.
And the punt team on now as this one's sent away. This is brought in at the 21. So holding there. Return, and that'll back him up to start the next drive.
Yeah, that's a pretty easy call right there, partner. I think when the officials look in their manual and see the expression jersey getting pulled, that's a flag coming out every time.
Richardson now on 1st down. He's going to sling this deep downfield. A leap, and he's got it. He got it. It's a big play there for Miami. I don't think the coverage was the problem. The coverage was pretty good.
The coverage was excellent, but what quarterbacks love to do, if they see the head of the defender away from the line of scrimmage, like if they see the back of his helmet, they throw the football to the receiver with the understanding he'll make a play on the ball a little bit quicker than the defensive back can recover.
So barely time to catch our breath. Here's 1st and 10 just outside the red zone. Looking to throw. Richardson. Over the middle, complete. That's Harris. And down inside the 15 he goes.
I like that one, partner. They go back-to-back with excellent gains, and really it shouldn't be a surprise who they were throwing the ball to. He's their best guy.
Yeah, we knew that they would get him involved early. They're doubling down on getting him involved early.
Don't be surprised if they'll come right back to him again. They haven't shown the propensity to be able to stop him.
From the red zone now, they'll look to throw. And he's got it. And he'll take this into the end zone for a Dolphins touchdown. A great effort there. His 4th touchdown on the year. And the Dolphins lead this now 13-0 here in the opening quarter of the ball game. Point after, right down the middle. And it's now 14-0. So the drive there, they went 80 yards in 3 plays. And it winds up in 6 points for the Dolphins. The kickoff team on the field now as they will send this one away. The return man down to a knee, and this will come out to the 25-yard line. New England trying to get a place on offense. And they come into this one off the loss over the weekend. But you say if you're going to play a Thursday night game, this is the week to do it.
It certainly is, because you get right back out there. You don't have time to dwell on things. And look, your game plan is going to be a little more limited, but so is theirs. So that's when you just appeal to your top players. Guys, you make plays in this one, we out-execute them, we can walk away with a win.
Ball at the 24 and a 2nd and 11. Now a handoff here to his running back. And he'll be upended at the 28-yard line. Just a 3-yard gain there.
But you've got to give kudos to your offensive line and the guy carrying the ball, because they were in a 2nd and long situation. It seemed pretty dire, but they brought it back to 3rd and manageable with that run.
On 3rd down, Webster. And the Dolphins rush gets home. Down he goes. Looks like a 9-yard loss. And it also brings up 4th.
Well, that's a pretty darn good start to his season, huh? A sack in the opener, adds a 2nd one here. That tells you about his offseason. He came in determined to have a big year, and it's paying off.
$13 yards the tally on the return there. And it'll be Dolphin football. Getting set to go again as we look at the back heading onto the field again. Last week, over 100 yards, 3 touchdowns. We were talking with him on the field before the game. He said simply, I was in a groove. He obviously was.
And I think he's being a little modest about that, being in a groove. That's a big-time game right there. And I think he feels like his entire team is coming along with him, because they're creating spaces and holes for him to run through. He's making people miss, running through tackles. They are locked in a big way and confident about this game as well.
He's got it. Touchdown, Dolphins. A big play there with his 2nd touchdown of the game and 5th on the year. And the Dolphins are able to strike quickly to add on to their lead. They scored the most points of anyone on opening weekend, and now 1st quarter touchdown here.
And while there's no guarantee that all the points they scored in opening weekend are going to hold up and be the average all year long, they're certainly starting to set that type of a pace. And what you do with that is you put in the heads of all of your opponents, we've got to really be ready on defense, because these guys know how to put the ball in the end zone.
You think they can keep piling on the points like this?
I think they can if they're prepared to adjust and adapt, because they won't see the same defenses week in and week out.
So how about this for a start? 21-0 here in the 1st as they kick this one away. And he'll just sit on this one as their drive will start at the 25. Out comes the New England offense to see what they can do this time. Now, early on, you know, Charles, every game could be called a measuring stick game. But I think when it comes within your division like this, it's a measuring stick game with a little extra intrigue.
I would agree with that totally because all division games have a little extra to them. But I like where this game is situated because at this stage of the season, it has that little extra juice, but at the same time, it's not a make or break if this were, let's say, week 15, 16, somewhere in that neighborhood.
The first down run got 5. Here's 2nd and 5. He takes this from the 30 to the 34.
Well, if you're a football guy, that's a pretty run because everyone is in sync right there. Obviously, the guy carrying the ball, but how about the people up front? Leverage, athleticism, they created some nice space for him.
Quick hitter here, it's complete. And he will have a Patriots first down as they're able to get the 3rd down conversion. We've seen quite a bit of the short passing game here early on first quarter, haven't we?
We have, and I think it works a couple of ways for this team because, number one, you throw the short game until they stop it. And if they're not going to stop it, you keep throwing it, and occasionally you'll break a tackle and turn into a bigger gain. Also, if they start to creep up, start to pressure receivers, now you go over the top, take it deep, and now you get some of those big shots downfield.
Ahead of the chains now, 2nd and 2. From the gun, he'll hand this off, and he'll get it down to the 47 here.
I think they like this drive a little bit better there, partner. Running game helping out, picking up some of the slack. Because remember the last drive, they went 3 and out.
On first down, Webster. And that'll be incomplete. We do have a penalty flag down, however. Let's see what that's about. So pass interference, the call is so tough as a defender, I'd imagine, to time that up perfectly.
It certainly is difficult to get it exactly right because sometimes you're looking at getting there fractions of seconds too early. That one looked a little more obvious. Always a tough penalty to officiate. Just ask the basketball refs when they have to officiate block and charge.
And he can't get rid of it. He's taken down. He couldn't get rid of it. He takes a sack for a loss of 6 to bring up 2nd down. These sacks now, they're starting to pile up, Charles. And that front 7 defensively, they've had their way with this offensive line.
And I think at this stage, we have to start thinking about different play calls. We've got to start helping this quarterback out because the entire game he's been under siege. I don't care what the down and distance. They've got to get the ball out of his hands a lot quicker.
He'll get 4 yards of the carry there, and we will get to the end of the first quarter of play. 21-0 our score after 1. Seventh play of this drive coming up, but a long way to go on 3rd down. Back to throw. Webster. He's going to flip one out here to his running back. And this will not get close to the first down marker as he's brought down at the 26. He did his best to just get 4 out of that, but not enough. And now 4th down.
How about that strategy there, Brandon? 3rd down. They just said, we've got faith in our tacklers. We'll give you the short stuff, and just decided to protect the sticks. So every time I hear fans telling me tackling's not a part of the game anymore, plays like that, I can clip and save and show them you have to tackle well if you want to be a good defense.
So they do come up with their first points of the game, but Charles, the question is going to shift to their defense.
Yeah, the way things have gone, 3 points could become insignificant fast if this grows to 28-3 or 35-3. They need this defense to come up with a stop, and they need to do it now.
So now the Dolphins set to take over on offense. They've got the lead right now in this ball game, and they're on the heels of that nice win last week over the Packers. Richardson on 1st and 10. Looking deep downfield. And it is caught at the 10-yard line. And he gets this deep into Patriot territory. It's a big play there for Miami. And a good quarterback facing zone coverage. If he has just a little bit of time to survey the scene, that's what's going to happen.
No doubt about it. If there's no pressure, he's going to continue to pick them apart because he'll have all that time to find someone open downfield. You can only cover for so long. So maybe they want to go to a zone blitz scheme, get a little bit more pressure. Remember when Carolina did that against Denver? They lost the game ultimately. They dropped the defensive end out, and he ended up with an interception in that game in Super Bowl 50. Maybe some sort of scheme like that to try and get more pressure at the passer.
A good run, 8 yards there, and it'll be 2nd and goal. Defensively, they must have been expecting a pass. They were in the dime look out there.
I think maybe they were deciding to go with speed on the field rather than bulk. I'm with you, a little bit surprising. They wanted people getting.
And he'll take this into the end zone for a Dolphins touchdown. It's the fullback. His 4th touchdown on the year. And the Dolphins continue to pull away here in this first half. Extra point splits the uprights. And the route is on here in this first half. Out is the kickoff unit as they run up and send this one away. And no effort to bring this one out. It's a touchback. Here comes the field general leading his offense back out there. New England with a first down as they begin the drive. And after the field goal last time, we'll see what they can get here. At least they got points out of the last drive, Charles.
I never met an offensive coach that didn't want to drive to end with a kick. Most of them wanted to end with a PAT, right? In this case, a field goal, they'll take it. Way better than the alternative, which is a punt.
Yeah, but you met fan bases that wanted that, that weren't happy with that field goal.
I haven't met a fan base yet that wants to drive to end with a kick other than the extra point. That's it.
And 2nd and 10, he'll look to throw again. Over the middle into traffic, and that's complete. And he takes this up to the 40-yard line before being corralled.
And I don't think there's any question that this offense is going to need to hit on a few more plays like this. It's been a difficult first half for them, to say the least. And I do believe if they want to get back in this game, they need to start right now. It's kind of like making adjustments. If you try and wait until the half, it's probably too late. They need to get going right here.
And he'll be out of bounds just shy of the 40.
Now that's the kind of big play you'd like to see. This first half, it hasn't gone their way, and they could use a shot in the arm, something to perk them up a bit. And they get one here in the passing game.
This offense finding its legs now. Here's another 1st and 10. And he'll give it here to his running back. And nothing much materializing there on the first down run. He'll get a couple, and that's it. Nice job there on the tackle. Keep him to the short gain. And, of course, he got some good news this week. He was named AFC Defensive Player of the Week from last week's effort.
And part of the reason he got that award, because of plays like that. Not every play is spectacular. Not every play is for a loss. Make the plays that are in front of you, keep it to short gains, and you pile up statistics.
And he is met at the line of scrimmage, and he goes down right there. 2 runs in a row, but only 2 yards to show for it.
The running lanes have definitely not been there for him here in the first half, and I don't think it's all been his fault. His offensive line hasn't given him much space. A loss results there.
Hands it off out of the gun. And he stopped up short of the first as they tackle him down at about the 36. Call it a gain of 5. 4th down now.
And there's a run to be happy with. Good, solid yardage. He'll take that anytime you hand the ball to a back.
And I don't think this has the carry. It does not. It's no good. And the score will stay right where it is. Now listen, now no kick from 50-plus is a gimme, but here you're indoors in a dome. You'd think ideal conditions.
Yeah, and it's one that he would expect himself to make, not just us expecting him to make it. Over the years, my theory is very simple. The athletic ability of kickers continues to get better and better. Check their backgrounds. They were all county, all state, at other positions, not just soccer players. These guys expect themselves to be great as well.
To throw is Richardson, throwing on first down. And that is caught. Touchdown, Miami. A great play there. His second touchdown on the season. And the Dolphins have got it on cruise control. Good start to the season for him. He had the touchdown last week in the opener and a second one in week 2 now.
How about the pace he's already established, right? Not sure he can keep it up for an entire season, but don't burst the bubble because he thinks that he can.
Do guys go into a season with a goal for touchdown scored or yardage? What do you think?
I think every single one of the guys who's going to touch the football, they all have those types of goals. They all have those types of thoughts. And then they just have to see how the season unfolds if they can stay with it.
Unfolding so far so good for him. No run back here, down to a knee, and this drive will start at the 25. New England's offense set to go. And they've got to be a little bit frustrated about that last drive, missed field goal.
Always hurts a team because, you know, you've put something out there, you've given yourself a chance, you're in range, and the ball doesn't go through the posts. But it's not something to panic about, I don't believe. Just keep playing and keep going.
A throw left side to start out. That's complete. And he's upended after a gain of 2 out to the 27.
I'm wondering if the same thing went through your mind as mine. When I see a big man like that make a catch, all I keep thinking to myself is, big man with football. Look out, everyone. He may not juke you a whole lot, right? He may not run past you because of his size. You're talking about a guy weighing in the 270 range. But, boy, once he gets his mitts on the ball, he's going to be tough to bring down. I know the halftime's approaching, but I don't think he's going to want to take a break. That's his 5th catch.
Yeah, they've really been targeting the tight end. And to give this time to the tailback. And he's got the first before he's brought down at the 39-yard line.
Brandon, what were they thinking on defense there? That looked like they were playing for the pass. That was 3rd and short. Yeah, it was an easy pickup because they handed it to him. That was way too easy.
Just looked like absolute confusion defensively. Not sure why they were in that set.
Yeah, I'd say you ought to have a few men in the box there.
Yeah, boy, this defense again really making things tough on him as they stop him for no gain. Officially nothing on that last run. They'll try again, 2nd and 10. Now a handoff here to his running back. Nowhere to go that time. He maybe got a yard up to the 40.
I do know from experience that when you slow down someone's running game, you're now doing the dictating on defense. And guess what? Now you're getting ready to tee off on their quarterback because they have to throw it all the time. But you still have to be alert for the draws and other plays of that nature and make sure you don't get hurt.
And he's going to come up a few yards short. Brought down at the 45. It'll be a gain of 5, and the punt team will now come out on 4th down.
Another down on the scoreboard, but the urge to go for it is almost irresistible here on 4th and short. Yeah, I know they're on their own side of the field.
I was going to say.
Normally I would say punt the ball away, but I'm feeling it. I say go for it.
And did they keep it in? They did. They kept it in. It's down close to the goal line at the 1-yard line. Amazing. Perfectly placed. If that ball goes 1 extra yard, maybe not even an extra yard, the starting point is the 20.
So there is a reason that a lot of punters are also excellent golfers. They know distance control. You know what else they have? Same groove motion over and over. Once they have that down, it repeats under pressure.
And they'll get him down up past the 15.
Watching that run takes me back to something a famous old coach once said. Any player he wants on his team, he wants him to be agile, mobile, and most definitely hostile.
So that last play gives him a little more space now. Here's 1st and 10 at the 16-yard line. Looking to throw. Richardson. He's going to go for a big play downfield. And it looked like he got the feet down, did he? Yes, it's a catch. And all the way in for a Miami touchdown. A great effort there. 84 yards. And the Dolphins just continue to pour it on.
I know Paul Revere talked about by land or by sea, right? You know, 1 by land, 2 by sea. He didn't mention air because right now we're seeing a big-time performance, aren't we? That's 2 touchdowns so far in this game.
Where'd you pull that one from?
And, you know, every now and then I actually listened in history class.
And you're just a scholar all the way around. You're reading all the time. I like that you fit that into the broadcast.
You know, I just grab a nugget when I can.
The kickoff unit is out on the field, and they will send this one away.
From a yard or two deep, here comes a return. And he'll get it up past the 20 to about the 22.
A look at the running back, the man out of the backfield as he gears up to go again. He's had a good chunk of carries. Problem is for very little success. I don't want to put it all on his shoulders, but that's a big reason they're losing right now.
Have to be very careful that he doesn't start pointing fingers. Offensive line obviously trying. The defense is doing.
And he will not make it back to the line of scrimmage as he's going to be taken down. He couldn't get rid of it. He winds up losing a yard. It's second down.
Well, Charles, this has been something to watch so far. This is where you really feel for a quarterback. He's been running for his life in this first half.
Brandon, that's 5 sacks already, so you know he's got to be saying, can we get some more guys in here to block, please? Because if we don't, we're going to need another quarterback.
Nowhere to go here. He lost the football.
Dangerous spot for them to cough it up. Lucky to have recovered because had the defense gotten it, they were already within a shadow of the goalpost.
And then you're yelling at your own defense. Sudden change, sudden change. That's not what you want to hear on your sideline. That means you got to run out there and try and stop an offense who has the ball in a very advantageous position. Well, it's looking like another 3 and out here, and at some point, you got to be able to put together a drive to keep your defense from having to go right back out on the field. I feel like things are starting to unravel a little bit, and we're not even at halftime.
It'll be a net of 40 yards there following a 43-yard punt, 3-yard return, and possession will switch hands, 1st and 10.
Dolphins offense returning to the field. And they were winners in the season opener Sunday. Now they get the quick turnaround game here on Thursday night. But, CD, you say this is an ideal setup for them. Why?
Well, it's just the way the schedule lines up because everyone's got to play a Thursday game, and that's because of competitive balance. So, let's face it, would you rather play week 2 when you're still relatively fresh and excited about the season? Or week 15 when you've had a season's worth of bumps and bruises to factor in, and who knows what your record might be at that time as well?
Coming up at the half, a reminder, we go back to Orlando to check in with Jonathan Coachman. He'll have a look back at our first half as well as a look ahead to what's coming up later this weekend. And he'll give it here to his running back. And inside the 20 before he's brought down.
Sure didn't take this offense long to get within striking distance of the end zone. 2 plays.
Feel the energy? You can just feel it, can't you? Because they are creating it on offense, the way they're running the football. Now they've swept into the red zone. Momentum all on their side.
And he's going to push his way down to about the 12. A good run there on 1st down, and it'll leave him with a 2nd and 2.
Good yardage there on 1st down. Exactly what you want. Get yourself set up to keep making 1st downs, keep the clock running. And if they're smart, you're starting to milk the clock. No hurry before you run your 2nd down play.
And the Dolphins are going to be set up with a 1st and goal. He couldn't quite reach the chalk, but they'll have it at the 1-yard line.
A lot to praise on this drive, obviously. I know you're seeing what I'm seeing. Those guys up front, they're getting it done.
Doesn't matter what play is called. They are handling their business at the line of scrimmage and dominating right now on this drive.
A chance to really cap off a big first half here as they come up on 1st and goal. They'll try to run this one in. And he is in. Touchdown, Miami. A great play there. His 4th touchdown on the year. And the Dolphins have got it on cruise control. Extra point right down the middle. And the lead will swell by 1 more. So that drive spanned 5 plays. And it ends with a 1-yard touchdown run. Set now to kick this one away, and off it goes.
From a couple yards deep.
Now a hit and a loose football. So a teammate picking him up there, that was nearly disaster.
And the way that you coach these things, you want to make sure you have eyes towards the return guy. because you want to make sure that the catch is secured. A lot of teams do that. They have at least one guy. Okay, you're responsible for making sure he secures the catch. He's not always the one that makes the recovery, but he can always sound out the alarm. Hey, ball's on the ground. We've got to get it back.
Now the Patriots going to use one of their timeouts as they stop it with 28 seconds to go in the first half of play. Throwing on first down. Webster, he'll try and set up the screen. It's complete.
And he was able to shed one tackle but could not get away from there.
Now the Patriots will use the second of their timeouts as it comes with 22 seconds to go here in half number one. To throw on second down. Webster. It's a short one here, complete to his tight end. And he'll be out of bounds after getting this one across the 40. These guys have punted 4 times already, and they're staring at a 5th, barring a conversion here on third down. They'll look to throw again. He finds his man, complete. It's Price. The Patriots will take their third and final timeout as they'll stop it with 14 seconds to go in this first half. They'll stick with the passing game as he looks to throw. And eventually taken down here. Great coverage downfield. Pass protection has been a problem all night long as they come up facing second and a bundle. So we've reached halftime here, and it's the visiting Dolphins taking a lead to the locker room. As we'll send you down the coast now to Orlando, that's where we find Jonathan Coachman, ready with our EA Sports Halftime Report. Coach.
All right, Brandon, we'll get back to you guys in a moment, but first, the NFL season is in full swing. Let's show the good folks what we've got in store for us later this weekend here in Week 2. Some great games still to come, and I think we highlighted one of the better ones right there as they'll square off against the Jacksonville Jaguars. Later in the afternoon, one of the games to spotlight will be at Ford Field in Detroit, where it'll be the Lions taking on the Chicago Bears. And lastly, Sunday Night Football has a good one lined up between the New Orleans Saints and the Tampa Bay Bucks. Meanwhile, in our game, it's been a back-and-forth first half. Who can put it together in the second half?
The Dolphins in front, and they'll be in possession of the football first as the second half gets started.
Fielded just outside the goal line. And they'll start this drive just across the 30. Pretty nice work on the return. The Dolphins getting set to go back to work here in quarter number 3.
The last time out, another touchdown, and I think there may be some empty seats around here by the time the fourth quarter comes around.
Yeah, I have to agree with you because this one's just about decided. But you know who benefits from all those empty seats?
Who?
You and me, trying to get to the airport.
That's
the roads
true.
will be fairly clear
that is
by the
one
time we have to
positive.
leave the booth.
5 yards on the carry. Good pickup on first down.
Brandon, 5 yards on that run. Let's get back to the huddle and make sure if you're a back, you spend time with your offensive line and give them credit. Hard to move those 300-plus pounders at the line of scrimmage, and they did for a significant chunk of yardage.
Second down at 5.
A handoff as they run the counter play. And he is met quickly in the backfield. Down he goes, folded like a lawn chair. A loss on that play, and now third down gets tougher, 3rd and 6.
And that's what this defense is going to need to do more in the second half. Good pressure that time, forces some indecision in the backfield. He's going to wind up being taken down for a nice loss.
From the gun, they'll try to run it.
And able to get this one across the 45 before he's brought down.
52 yards rushing for him now, and he's carried the ball just 5 times.
We don't talk about it very often, but sometimes there's a dip in intensity when you start the second half, which can manifest itself in some sloppy tackling. And how about right there? He ran right through that weak tackle attempt.
And to give this time to the tailback. And he's going to take this ahead for right around 3 yards, but no more than that. Second down.
Well, that's just a pile of bodies there, and that's when you kind of find out who's a tough guy, right? Who can stand up and make a play. It was only a 3-yard run, but for both sides, they had to walk away from that feeling like, okay, I can stand up when the going gets tough in here.
And this time he's able to take it down to the 42.
It's a good, nice, crisp run for a first down. I wonder if the defense might have been loosened up a little bit, maybe anticipating a pass instead of the run that they got.
So 1st and 10, and if they score on this drive, might have to start digging in our second half blowout material. And he'll maneuver his way forward for about 4. 2nd and 6.
Well, at the end of all that hitting and hollering, it was a 4-yard run, so the offense is going to go back to huddle and feel pretty good about themselves. Defensively, you have to feel okay because you didn't let it turn into a bigger run, but the goal, shut it down for 2 yards or less. That's when you start to feel good about yourselves.
2nd and 6.
Now a handoff here to his running back. And he's going to take this down close to the 1st as he's brought down at the Patriots 33. Call it a gain of 5 there on the run, but they'll remain a yard or 2 short here with 3rd down coming up. He's able to get it to the 31, and that's enough for the 1st.
That's quite a spot there for his first carry of the game, but obviously they had plenty of faith in him, didn't they?
No question about it. And here, why not go with the fresh legs? Able to push forward, pick up that 1st. All runs on this drive so far. It's 1st and 10. And he'll give it here to his running back. And not a whole lot of room to operate there on the 1st down run. He gets maybe 3.
Yeah, I don't know if it's exactly a win-win, but if you're on offense, you'll take that kind of a run, all right? It was kind of stacked up, found a little bit of yardage, and frankly, they're pretty close to staying on schedule on offense. The playbook is still open for the coordinator.
2nd and 7.
They'll run it here. This is their fullback getting the carry. And inside the 20 before he's brought down.
I know a lot of times we like to put players in certain boxes. He does this and he does that. But this guy, he can do a little bit of everything. He's not just a lead blocker or a guy who protects the passer. Handing the ball, he might want to get out of the way.
So from inside the 20, here's 1st and 10 at the 18.
And to give this time to the tailback. And he's going to push his way down to about the 12. A solid run on 1st down. Gain of 7 leaves him with a 2nd and 3.
Looks to me like maybe there's a little attrition setting in with this drive. Because when you see that type of a run, I get the feeling the defense is getting a little bit tired.
And that's the last thing they need, especially when they look up at the scoreboard. So they'll come up after the gain of 7 on a 2nd and 3. Now a handoff here to his running back. And he'll be brought down here at the 3-yard line.
69 yards now on the ground on just 7 carries.
That's a nice run right there, able to get to the outside. And so many times defenses say, okay, we got you hemmed in. But if you're running the football, at least you know where everyone is coming from. You don't have to worry about the backside at all. That allows you to run with a little bit more confidence as you traverse down the field.
They'll try and run for it on 1st and goal. And he will take it in for a Dolphins touchdown. A great effort there.
with his second touchdown of the game and 5th on the year. And the Dolphins take the opening kickoff of the third quarter and drive right down the field to extend their lead. Now the try here for the point after. And the lead grows even larger here in the third quarter. So that one a 13-play drive in total. And it ends with a 3-yard scoring run. The kickoff team on the field now as they will send this one away. And not willing to risk another fumble, he'll sit on this one. It's a touchback. Here comes the Patriots offensive unit. They'll have it first here to begin the third quarter. They have been struggling. I would imagine at halftime they went through some possible changes. Well, those changes aren't working, so now where do you go?
I think that now it's much more in their head. And what I mean by that is just what you said. You've gone over the changes. I bet they were pretty clinical at the half, not too emotional. They might need to go to the emotional side because you've got to find something, some spark somewhere. And so far, just being calm hasn't exactly worked.
They need any spark at this point. And they'll run on the inside handoff. And once again, the Dolphin defense holds firm as they'll stop him behind the line of scrimmage. They go backwards there 2 yards, and 2nd and 1 is now 3rd and 3.
This defense is just flat getting after it. They have not given up much of anything in the run game. Case in point right there.
From the gun on 3rd down, Webster. And he will have first down yardage as he's brought down at the 41.
But we use the term pitch and catch. To denote an easy completion. We just saw one right there on 3rd and 3 to pick up the first down.
Why are those so tough to defend? Just because they hit so quickly?
Yeah, it's all about timing and confidence. Quarterback sees it, rips it, there you go.
Here's a handoff out of the gun. And he'll work this forward for about 3 at 2nd down.
Well, from an offensive perspective, that was a tough run because he only picked up 3 yards. But let's flip it over to the defensive side. They now have the advantage. 3 3-yard gains. That means they're punting the ball likely on 4th down. That's what you're looking for when you're playing defense.
And he'll get it into enemy territory just across midfield at the 49.
And there we saw one of the downsides of blitzing during a rundown because sometimes you get out of your gaps. You don't fit the run quite as well because you're headed towards the ball carrier with abandon.
From the gun, he'll hand this off. And he'll maneuver his way forward for about 4. 2nd and 6.
Well, on every play call, you realize it's not going to go for a touchdown. So a lot of your calls are setting things up for maybe later in the game, trying to establish the inside run with toughness now, hopefully get to the perimeter later. And let's face it, you could do worse than a 4-yard run on 1st down.
And he's got another first down as he's brought down at the Dolphins' 33.
There's a nice pickup right there, and after watching that play, I'm thinking about all the lost opportunities that they've had so far in this game. But right now, just focus on continuing to move the ball the way they did on the last play.
And a 5-yard gain as he's down inside the 30 to the 28-yard line. From the 28, it's 2nd and 5. Operating from the gun, Webster. Firing quickly here, and that's complete. And he's got another first down as he's brought down at the Dolphins' 19.
And maybe this offense has learned something from watching their counterparts work. I'm wondering if their coaching staff said, let's do what they've been doing the entire game because that's worked well. This offense, they have not looked particularly good all game long. But a nice throw there for a good gain and a first down.
And he'll protect himself at the end here as he winds up getting pretty decent yardage. 1 quarter remains here in this Thursday night matchup. You are watching the NFL on EA Sports. Working with 2nd and 5 now. Back to throw. Webster. Oh, there's that man again. It's complete. And the Patriots are going to have a 1st and goal as he's taken down at about the 8-yard line.
Now the Dolphins going to burn the first of their timeouts. That'll leave them with 2 remaining. We'll be back after this. Now a play fake here on 1st down. And he's going to lose a yard or 2, taken down behind the line. It'll go as a sack and a loss of a yard, and it leads to a 2nd and goal. Now from the 9, here's 2nd and goal. And now here's a carry heading left. And they'll get this from the 8 to the 5. Pickup of 3. Defensively, I think they can smell a stop. Ball right around the 5 here, brings up 3rd.
And I think what they've done is they put doubt in the minds of the offensive guys. What do we do? Because now you don't have a go-to play. Either side they pick, throwing it, running it, it won't be easy.
So it's been a long drive. They've held the ball for quite a while. Now what do you do here?
Well, to me, at this stage, after this drive, this close to the goal line, 3 points would be a letdown. I'm going for it here.
And his kick is good. And get back 3, but this remains a large deficit. Well, in the grand scheme of things, those 3 points likely not going to matter much, but I guess they get a little closer, a little more respectability.
Yeah, you're exactly right. They've been outplayed all game long, but like my mom used to tell me all the time before I went out, dress up a little bit, son. Make yourself respectable. And that's what they're doing here. They're just dressing up the final score.
Out comes the Miami offensive unit now. They get set to take over. And this game comfortably in hand. The scoreboard speaks for itself, but you still got your starting quarterback out there. When do you go to the backup, let him get some time?
And that's one of the great questions in the NFL, Brandon, because I'm just going to tell you, in the 2015 season, I commentated on 3 games in a row that were blowouts. And in none of them did the starting quarterback ever come out of the game for the team that had a big lead. And in each instance, I asked the coaches later on, why didn't you do that? And they all looked at me and said, just don't really do that in the NFL. We you know, these guys play, and we just play them all the way through. Now, in certain situations, they will take them out, but for the most part, they're not as worried and concerned about getting them.
And now the ball's out, fumble near midfield, and it's picked up by the Patriots. And they'll set up shop right near midfield at the 49-yard line. Obviously, you got to hold on to the... But I've got to give credit to the defense there. Good job of knocking it free.
Yeah, because a lot of the time we just blame the offensive players for not taking care of it. How about the effort of the defensive players knowing?
And now before the ball changes hands, they're going to take a look at this just to make sure that they have it right. Now the question, was the knee in fact down before this ball comes loose? And is the
After review the play, the ruling on the field is reversed.
So that one overturned. They say the knee was down, and that will not be ruled a fumble. Historically, this is such a tough, loud venue, but you can hear a pin drop right now. A lot of fans long gone, not used to seeing a lopsided score like this. Hands it off out of the gun.
Give them 3 on first down. It'll set up a 2nd and 7.
Brandon, I've got to think this offensive line has got some smiles on its faces. And I know it sounds crazy, but they practiced for this back in training camp. They knew they'd be in situations where it'd be extra defenders in the box coming after them, trying to keep them from locking down a game. Right now, they want to show the world they're up to the challenge.
The Dolphins going to take their 2nd timeout. That's going to leave them with just 1 remaining here in this 4th quarter. An extra corner comes on now for the Patriots D on 3rd down. And he'll give it here to his running back. And he's able to get it to the 33. Good enough for a first down.
82 yards rushing for him now on what was his 10th carry of the ball game.
Brandon, when a defense just simply can't get off the field on third down, and we all know how important that down is for both sides of the ball, you often feel like you're just a step behind whatever they're doing offensively.
And one of the differences in this game, no doubt, third down conversion, and that is going to be a story they'll talk about after this one. Going to give this time to the tailback. And he stopped immediately there. No gain on the play. It'll be second down. And as a defensive end, getting off the ball quickly, swarming to the football, making a tackle, that's what we saw right there.
Yeah, and that's what their job is. And really, a lot of the time, they have to throttle back a little bit in the run game because you know those defensive ends, they're like in a sprinter stance. They're just headed straight for the quarterback. That was good recognition on that play to hold them to no gain.
So after the run for no gain, here's 2nd and 10. Now a handoff here to his running back. And he's going to be taken down with a marker on the field. So let's see about the call.
Offense.
So a decent gain, but all for naught on the penalty.
It's too bad, isn't it? They were feeling pretty good about it. The only people celebrating, the guys who just gave up that play.
Now after the holding call, here's 2nd and 20.
From the gun, they'll try to run it.
And some good tackling there as he stopped up at about the 41. And they only get a yard back there. They'll be left with a 3rd down and long. And he'll give it here to his running back. And here he'll be brought down a little shy of the 35 at the 36. That'll be good for 6, but now it's 4th down. On now the Miami field goal unit. Now the Dolphins will use the last of their timeouts. That will be their 3rd and final stoppage as they'll only have the 2-minute warning now remaining. Looks like the offense is going to take another shot here. They're going on 4th and 13. From the gun, Richardson. He lets this one fly toward the back of the end zone.
And this a leaping effort, but it's knocked away. Incomplete.
The Dolphins can't convert on 4th. And the Patriots defense is going to take over on downs. The Pats at the line ready to go. And last time they got 3 points, but it was a chip shot field goal. And when you go to the sideline after a chip shot field goal, maybe the offense not too happy.
It's a balancing act, isn't it? Because you're exactly right. They're none too pleased that they didn't punch it in for 6 points. But they also have to remember they did put points on the board.
3 points is 3 points.
And in this league, you take points when you can get them. Not easily done.
He'll try again with the arm here on 2nd down. And he's got his man out of the slot, complete. They do get a couple, but they'll be left staring at a 3rd and 8 coming up. Looking to throw. Webster.
Oh, that's into double coverage and intercepted.
He's picked off at his own 47. And his guys will set up shop at midfield at the 50-yard line. Yet another mistake after the interception there. And, gosh, you look up at the scoreboard. They just got to be thinking this one cannot get over fast enough.
It certainly can't. And also what happens when you get this big of a deficit, you're supposed to make all the right throws, right? You're supposed to try and obviously get the ball to your own guys. But being down this big, you also take even more chances. And in this situation, that hasn't paid off for them at all.
On the other sideline, jubilation and laughter.
Give credit to the defense for stringing that play out, and they gave up no cutback angle. You know he was trying to dart through. No place for him to go. A nice job there, only giving up a 3-yard gain.
They'll try and run with their fullback. He'll get it to the 40. Broke a tackle there to get some extra yardage. A gain of 3 last play. This time they double it and pick up 6. This is where, fourth quarter, you got the lead. You give it to the big guy. Defensively kind of sucks the will out of them, doesn't it? Because they don't want to tackle him right now this late in the game.
But you say that with accusatory tones. I mean, but you're exactly right. I know it's not something we actually want to talk about, but as a defender, 4 quarters worth of trying to bring people down, 4 quarters worth of pounding, and now late in the game, here comes that big guy coming at you, and a lot of guys are wondering where they want to come up and make that tackle at this stage of the game.
So here's a 1st and 10 at the 38. They'll try and run some clock here as they keep it on the ground. And brought down, but not before they're inside the 25.
104 yards rushing for him now as he's carried it 13 times.
Well, we're beyond the tone setting right now. This guy's been the bell cow all day, and they'll continue to rely on him to move the chains, drain the clock, and lead his team.
Going to give this time to the tailback. He's got the first down inside the 10, and he gets it all the way down to the 3. He showed his shiftiness and his explosion to take him all the way down near the goal line.
Love that description, and it creates momentum. Maybe you hand it to him again since he's got it going, or do you fake it to him and throw it to a teammate? Right now, the options are wide open.
Just 2 minutes remaining here in the fourth quarter of what has been a one-sided affair. So the Dolphins have it as we welcome you back in. They've got it 1st and goal in a game that appears to have already been decided. They'll try and run for it on 1st and goal. And he will get into the end zone. It's another touchdown. This thing is ugly. Looking like they're well on their way to a 2-0 start. All smiles right now on that sideline, isn't it?
As well there should be. It's hard to win a game in the NFL. We hear it all the time. We know that it's difficult. But guess who's smiling? But inside is thinking 24-hour rule because we're going to have to play again next week.
Boss man.
Oh, without a doubt. The head coach, he wants him to feel good, but at the same time, find a way to keep improving.
Extra point attempt to come here. The extra point up and good. And that will extend this big lead. That time a 6-play drive. And it ends with a 3-yard scoring run. Out is the kickoff unit as they run up and send this one away. And not willing to risk another fumble. He'll sit on this one. It's a touchback. Out comes this field general once more, leading his offense back onto the field. And this defense, they came prepared. New England with a first down as they begin the drive. Let's just be frank. They're playing for pride at this point.
That's all that's left.
The Dolphins get there this time, and they bring him down. He'll wind up losing 3 there on the sack. Good pressure, and it's second down.
We've been around this league for a while, and many coaches never pull their starting quarterback, almost no matter the situation. In this case, though, I think he's got to make a decision. He's taking a pretty good beating out there.
Yeah, with the deficit, maybe not wanting to risk an injury. They get 11 back on that one. It leads to third down. And they'll run on the inside handoff. And he won't be close to a first down as he runs into a wall right around the line of scrimmage. Call it no gain there, and it leads to a fourth down. As expected, they're going for it to keep the drive alive. And he's got the first before he's brought down at the 39-yard line. Back to throw. Webster throwing into traffic there, and that's complete. And he'll be taken down, but not before he works it past the 50. On 1st and 10, Webster. And he's going to get a solid gain of 9 before being brought down. Second and right at a yard. A big offensive explosion helped leading them to victory. And the defensive guys, they're just saying, hey, put those points up every week. We'll just keep winning.
They will gratefully accept them, won't they? It makes their job that much easier when they're scoring that many points. Allows them to play with a totally different style and a different flow.
So for the Dolphins, it was a great all-around performance as they come out of this one with the victory. And they'll get a few extra days to savor this one before they take on the San Francisco 49ers. Meanwhile, for New England, they'll drop to 0-2, and they'll be at home next week for a date with the Tennessee Titans. So for our entire crew, alongside Charles Davis, I'm Brandon Gaudin. Thanks for watching, everybody. We'll see you next time.